All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
Welcome to the ASAP Wrestling Hour. I am Ray, your host, with the natural William Morgan. He is the natural. How you doing today, William?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Doing good. You ready for some wrestling talk today?
Oh yeah, I'm more than ready. Free Dewdrop. Loving Dewdrop right now.
Oh yeah. I know she had to warm up on me. You know, I didn't like the way they presented her on with Eve Morgan and all that stuff. So. You know, with Eve, and I think it's good now that she's by herself. Don't let her do her thing. I think she was good in her independent wrestling and stuff like that. So let her do her thing and stuff like that. So we keep moving right along there on that. Let's talk about Smackdown on Friday night.
Okay.
With Roman Reigns and King Wood and all this other stuff going on. So what is your thought about this feud right here with Woods and Roman Reigns?
I thought for a minute King Woods might pull that thing off for a second. I thought he might pull it off for a second, but then WWE had to swerve you. Yeah, he still got the win, but they also kept Roman where he was. Put that stupid crown on top of his head. Like I say, I've said it before. I ain't feeling this head of the table stuff, and I'm just tired of him being champion. And I thought King Woods had a shot. I thought he had a shot, but like I say, Vince McMahon said, "Nope, we made you a king. We ain't do nothing else for you." So,
well, I look at it two different things here. Roman Reigns had a 600 and some odd match thing. He lost that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think that the King Woods for that.
Right.
But then at reality, at the end, they're going to put Roman Reigns on top and stuff like that.
Yep.
So how usually this works before pay-per-view. Whoever's on top, sometimes they might lose to pay-per-view. Could this be something on the side where WWE changes way and make Roman Reigns win it, even though that King Woods been putting good showings against Reigns? I mean, the good chemistry between the two.
Mm-hmm. So
do you think Vince McMahon will screw this up somehow, or if Woods win, then he'll win by disqualification or something?
Yeah, it'll be disqualification. It's not gonna be clean. It's not gonna be clean.
Now there's been reports too that Brock Lesnar might be on his way back from his suspension.
Teased that on Raw too. I thought that was kind of interesting when he was talking to Big E toward the end of the show. If you don't do this, I got 2 words for you, Brock Lesnar. So let him come back. It fits the profile for Brock. It fits the profile.
Well, why I brought this up in this section here, because we're on this King Woods. You think he will interfere and help Woods out at the towards the end of the match?
I can see that. I can really see that. That'd be a nice little swerve. I'm sick of this king of the head of the table stuff. I'm sick of it. Now he a king with the Burger King crown on, bruh.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to get that back to, what you call it. Tease it around real, with the thing over and stuff like that. But if you look at this Roman Reigns situation and Brock Lesnar situation, it hasn't been finished yet.
It's not done.
That's the problem we have with WWE. Sometimes they don't finish storylines and they put them into a new storyline. What is Vince trying to do with that? Do you wonder?
He's just trying to bait it out for as long as he can. That's why he hadn't seen anything currently. They suspended Brock to keep people on the edge of their seat with that. When is Brock going to come back? When is Brock going to finish up his business with Roman Reigns? There's something to keep you on the edge of your seat. So when Brock does come back, he gets the biggest pop possible. And again, that's Brock. That's what they do with him. That's what they do with them. So they'll bring him out. He'll get the pop, maybe a match or two, gone. Then come back a few months later, And there he is again, getting the same pop. So that's what they do with Brock, and that's what I pretty much expect from him. But yeah, that they got unfinished business, and they need to hurry up and settle that.
Now we're talking about that. We're talking about this business and stuff like that. With this, do you see this possibly? AEW has some influence on when they bring Brock Lesnar back too. You know, sometimes the momentum goes to AEW, they bring Brock Lesnar back, and then all of a sudden swerves back to WWE. Do you think that Vince is doing with Brock Lesnar, suspend him, see how AEW gains contraction, they gain contraction, then they bring Brock Lesnar back to gain a little bit more contraction back to them?
Yeah, I think so. Because Vince, no, he's hurting right now. He's hurting. So he's got to do something to keep people on his side, so to speak. WWE's always going to have their fans, and AEW is going to have theirs. But if he wants to be king of the mountain, he knows what he got to do. He lost a lot of talent doing his own, I'm not going to say ignorance, but his own doing. So that's why he's doing what he's doing with Brock. So he's going to wait to see what AEW does, see what kind of traction they build up. If they build up a lot of traction, then he'll bring Brock back in to go ahead and gain that fan share back. So, yeah, that about right for what Vince would do with Brock.
Now, on top of that, so let's move on a little bit here. Sasha Banks returned back to SmackDown. We knew she was going to come back sooner or later because Survivor Series is coming right along.
Yep.
The Sonya Deville stuff that's going on right now. How do you like this storyline with her and Naomi, and how do you think this is really going to work out for Naomi?
I don't like the storyline because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There wasn't a whole lot of build up on why those two would have issues with each other. I'm not crazy about it. They're just going through the motions with it. Now you don't cut Aaliyah out from the SmackDown team. That's supposed to add more fuel to the fire, I guess. But I don't like it because there was no build to it. Now I like Sonya, but they haven't built any type of backdrop or background with that with her and Naomi. And maybe we'll get it. Maybe she'll come back. Maybe she'll get back in the ring again and go against Naomi. I'd like to see it for a close, but I don't know if we'll get that because of her health and other issues.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of these notes and stuff like that, I came across Sonya Deville kicked off Friday night show by introducing participants from SmackDown Survivor Series team: Shorty, Natalya, Cheyenne, Shayna Baszler, and Leah. From there, she introduced Sasha Banks and making her return following the beatdown she suffered 2 weeks ago at the hands of Shorties. The boss immediately went for Shorties, protecting before Naomi hit the ring. She came face to face with Deville before teeing off on Baszler. A brawl between the teammates ensued as the show went to a commercial break. So, did you like the way that whole segment started off?
Yeah, I did. At least it gave you some action, this Northfest that it could have been, but they gave you some action with that match starting off. So, yeah.
Now, the Hill isolated Aaliyah, cutting the newbie off from her teammates and working her over. In the corner, Baszler looked for the cuckoo for clutch, but Ali escaped and made the tag to Naomi, who immediately tagged her, reaching the Deville. So, I mean, to me, this match was good. I mean, this match was, where it's a blind tag to Natalya by the Queen of Spades, allowed the Hills to regain control by catching the former SmackDown Women's Champion off guard. The Hills remained aggressors, and Natalya applied the sharpshooter to her opponent and tried to use it to ropes for leverage, but Naomi broke it up.
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah scored the roundup for the upset victory. So I like this whole plot. But, now you got Natalya being on the heel side.
Mm-hmm.
Is Vince going to try to push her over as a heel now and try to push her up into the title matches? Or how's that going to work for Natalya? Because I think Natalya deserves to be women's champion. I mean, she does all the hard work, making people look good, putting people over.
Yep.
She was tag team champion. That run was okay. I mean, I don't understand why they don't put the belt on Natalya. I mean, she's she's part of the Hart Foundation, the Hart clan.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, is that something against her dad that Vince McMahon has a grudge still against?
I think so. And I also think they look at Natalya now at her older age just more as a hand than a champion. Because she's putting a lot of the younger talent over, and so is Nate, and so is Tamina. So yeah, I think they just look at her as a good hand, and someone as a vet to teach the young ladies back there. I don't think they really look at her as a champion. And again, I'm shocked she hasn't been released, because you release people who you felt the same way about on the men's side. So I'm shocked she hasn't been released and be put in that same situation. Should be great for AEW or Impact. Should be great. But I'm still kind of shocked she's still on that roster.
Yeah. Now, if you look at her career in WWE, do you say her career is a failure, or is it a career made by Vince McMahon, who said, "I'm going to hold you back"?
I think it's a little bit of Vince, and she's also still tied to Brett. Even though him and Brett are kind of made up a little bit, there's some residual resentment there, and I think that's why she hasn't really gotten over. Yeah, they give her the tag titles, and she had that one little Divas run, which was okay, but yeah, I just think that's Vince just being petty and not really seeing her for what she can do. And I'm shocked, like I said before, I'm still shocked she's on the roster, because right now all she's doing is putting over younger talent and being a good hand. But she can evidently still go, and she can prosper somewhere else. Same thing like R-Truth. He can go and prosper somewhere else and be more than what Vince envisions him to be. So that kind of shocks me a little bit.
Then we'll move on to Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boggs versus Laurentos, Adam Pearce announcement, blah, blah, blah.
I'm tired of Adam Pearce.
I mean, he went from a good guy, now he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he took the Mysterios out.
Yep, took both of them out of Survivor Series.
You think is that the right call, though?
I would have at least liked it. Dominic, I get, but I would at least would have liked to see Rey in his spot. And being who you replaced him with, that's pathetic. That's pathetic.
But I mean, if you look at it too, this could be Rey Mysterio's last Survivor Series.
That's why I want to see Rey in there, so we can go ahead and finish his career on a high note. But again, who you replaced him with, I get it. Sometimes you have to bring up a young up and comer, but him? Nah, man. I get Dominic because he's young. He had a long career ahead of him. He can be in other Survivor Series. But Rey, that one sort of kind of hurt because I wanted to see him compete.
All right.
Could be your last time seeing him. It could have been your last time seeing him.
All right. So, this took place in the Commonwealth State of Virginia at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Now, Paul Heyman told Cleo Braxton that if Roman Reigns cannot make King Woods bend the knee tonight, the tribal chief promised then bend a knee himself. If he doesn't, Reigns can be stripped of the Universal Championship and banned from the Smackdown, claiming it is legal binding being in the Commonwealth State of Virginia.
Ain't no good and doggone well, Roman Reigns. Man, come on.
That's just a statement that was put in, I mean, the Commonwealth State of Virginia can do anything they want.
Facts. But still, you ain't cutting that man out that Survivor Series main event.
Man, I can test the state law of the Commonwealth of Virginia law because I've seen it work, because I was stationed up there in Norfolk. I've seen all that work, and sometimes it worked against me, my ex-wife and stuff like that, but they could do anything like that. All right, Rick Boggs introduced Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura for the tag team against Los Laurentos, Angel, and Herberto. What do you thought about this match? This match, any recollections for you? Yeah, was it good or boring?
Yeah, it was boring. It was all right. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing amazing. You got a double team out of it. You stun Nakamura, then after you do that, you do a modified total elimination for the win. I mean, it was just all right.
I didn't like it. It was too much towards a single match than it was a tag team match.
I was kind of excited you saw a tag team match for Nakamura though, particularly going to Survivor Series where he's going up against old boy. Yeah. So I was kind of shocked by that. I expected maybe like a singles match for him to win or lose. I wasn't expecting a tag match.
Yeah, and then that match was okay. I mean, I didn't give rats two rats about it and stuff like that. So next one comes up with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and all that. Then Tony Storm interrupts. What do you thought about that segment?
I love Tony Storm. She's a young up and comer. She was exiting on an indie scene over in the UK. Over the UK, excellent here. I love Tony Storm. I'd love for them to do more with Tony Storm. After Survivor Series, if she beat Charlotte for the title, I'll be one of the happiest dudes in the world. But I will give Charlotte her credit. She's looking a lot better. She's gotten better in the ring. So I will give her credit for sure. But I would love to see Tony Storm be champion.
Now, you think Charlotte Flair and WWE is going to give Tony Storm the chance?
Maybe somewhere down the line. I don't think it'd be right now, but somewhere down the line, I think they'll give Tony Storm a chance because the fans are asking for it. Yeah. She's really popular, and the fans, within the world of wrestling, not just WWE, the fans are asking for it. So I think she'll get the chance eventually.
And then we move right along here. We had Jeff Hardy versus Sami Zayn for the spot of the Survivor Series tag team, for a spot on the tag team for the Survivor Series match. What do you think? What do you think about this match?
I don't know what they're doing with Sami Zayn. That man came in. You remember when he first hit the scene? He was kind of hyped up and winning mid-card titles and things like that. Now all of a sudden, look at him. Look at him.
I look at it this way. I mean, I think they messed him up once they got rid of his gimmick. Coming to the ring, everybody singing, that little chant and stuff. I think that really affected his thing. Then they couldn't figure out what to put him as, and then he put this stupid character right here. I mean, come on, man. Yeah. These theories are killing me. And then you got Zayn, down Hardy in the far away with the right, left, right, while Michael Cole and Pat McAfee discussed how the fashion the company will resist the conspiracy. Blah, blah, blah. Just pushing his storyline.
Oh, yeah.
At the end, Matt Hardy defeated Sami Zayn. Was that the right call?
Yeah, it was the right call to defeat Sami. Again, they don't see Sami the same anymore. Sometimes the problem is you can see yourself a certain way, but if the company don't see you like that, you're not going to get over. And they put Sami Zayn down so bad and kind of fast, it wasn't even funny. So, yeah, that was the right call to put Jeff Hardy in there. And
then we had the match. King Wood versus Roman Reigns.
Man.
Woods defeated Reigns via disqualification.
Man.
We knew it was coming.
You knew it was going to come, yeah.
But the part I didn't think, the part that got me was when they made a disqualification for Woods. So they really wanted to break Roman Reigns' streak at 698 some odd winless match for SmackDown. What was the object of him breaking that streak to Woods?
None, because it wasn't clean. If it was a clean pin, after that coast to coast, if it was a clean pin, it would have meant something. It would have been a memory. But by DQ, I don't know if I count that as a win. It's a win in the record book. Yeah. It's a win at the pay window, but don't nobody look at a DQ as an actual win. But if you would have pinned him after that coast to coast clean, yeah, that would have meant some. That would have been more of a memory for Xavier Woods and the fans. But DQ, no. Then he got attacked. Then he got attacked at the end and beat up. No.
Then this question here will wrap this up. What was the purpose of him getting beat down? I mean, just before. I mean, come on, you're about a week away before the thing pay-per-view, so you want Woods to be injured, but that will make Roman Reigns look weak.
Yeah, it would. It really would. And I don't understand it. You could have that was uncalled for. Hit him with the steps. What, twice?
Yeah.
Come on, man, do better.
Are they trying to really push him as a big time heel? Because I mean, the things he's doing right now, it's going to be hard to turn him back good if they want to turn him back good.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for it to turn back as a face. Yeah. At least I don't know. I just don't get what they're doing. Vince has always got his own. He's got his. he's got his hand in something, and he's either trying to ruin it in the way that he sees it. Because again, if I was a clean win by Woods, it would have meant something. It would have been something. It would have been it would have been a good SmackDown moment. But DQ will be nothing.
Let's turn our attention away from SmackDown. I give a SmackDown like a C maybe for the show overall.
Yeah, I'll give it a C.
I mean, you're talking to two hardcore wrestling people right here, man. And it's kind of hard to put us over some of these matches, storylines they got coming up. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to the Monday Night Raw recap. They opened up the show with recapping Owens and Big E's brawl at the end of Raw last week. Owens come out, give his little speech. The Usos come in and jump behind Big E, try to beat him down a little bit. And then half of the team bro came out. Riddle came out with some help, and Big E gets back up. They take care of the Usos. So what do you thought about that opening sequence?
I didn't like that whole thing because Big E came out there, he was doing his thing. Then he was talking to Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens went back to the back. Big E went to follow him. Here come the Usos. They start beating him down. Here come RK Bro or Matt Riddle coming down doing his thing. Then we get Seth Rollins coming down, Mr. Visionary himself. Monday Night Rollins stealing Damian Sandow's gimmick from back in the day. I just didn't like the way that match went out. And then you got Randy Orton running down like he just drunk some cognac or something, half drunk, running down to the ring trying to do some stuff. I didn't like the sell, but the match itself was fine. But I just didn't like the way it set up.
Yeah. So we had that little sequence. We had that little sequence going on. Bianca Belair versus Tamina.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed when I looked at Tamina. She just don't look right. She just doesn't look athletic as she used to be. She's still strong as all get out, don't get me wrong, but she just doesn't look as athletic as she used to be. And I get you got to put Bianca over because she's the hotness right now, so to speak. But I just thought it would be a better match with somebody who's a vet like that. Let her at least get the splash in. Even if she misses the splash, at least let her get the splash in. Even if she misses it, at least let her get the splash in. Even let her get the splash in. Come on, man. That's what you know Tamina for. Is a splash. Let her get the splash in. Even if you miss or get knees up or something, at least let her get her move in there. And they didn't do it. So yeah. Only good part about that match to me, I got to see my girl Doudrop at the end. I love Doudrop. So that's the only good part about that match. But I was just disappointed because they didn't let Tamina get her moving. She would have got that splash in, make it or not, then yeah, I think it would have been a better match.
It could have been over too. I mean, Tamina hit that splash, man. Come on now.
If Tamina won that match, would it really hurt Bianca? If she would have won, I don't think it would have hurt her. But
then again, she did that splash can make Bianca look strong too, kicking out of it.
Yep.
After it made her look weak when they lost the match to Becky Lynch.
Yep. At least let her get her match. At least get her move in there. She could have kicked out and then come back for the win. Man.
Yeah. And then you talking about, Doudrop. I like the way her attitudes and changed. So.
I do too. She's had her chance.
All right, we got Mr. Chris Robinson joining us.
What's up, man?
What's up? How's
it
going?
What she said, Ray? What she said in the back? But it seemed to me this one here, she didn't have her chance.
Yeah, no. So we're talking about Doudrop. What do you think about Doudrop's new attitude?
Doudrop, man.
So what do you think about her attitude now?
I love it.
It's a welcome change, man. She needs to get rid of that name, but I'm loving the new attitude.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to this feud between her and Bianca. Bianca can show her strength.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be just a good change.
Yeah, you're talking about her name, Doudrop. I kind of, it's kind of grown on me a little bit because, two things you can do with her name. She can come up with a move and call it the do and then the drop.
Mm-hmm.
Call it the Doudrop. You gotta be creative sometimes. Sometimes these guys don't sometimes these guys don't understand that. You know, sometimes they create these names. They could use their names as at some point of the winning maneuver.
Yep.
You know, you can do the dewdrop on them.
Yep.
You know?
I do miss those days when like wrestlers would have like names that go along with the gimmick or just you know go along with their name.
So I mean,
but she's awesome.
So we go from that one to the Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits. What do you think about this match? Any ring to it?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, William put it back.
Nah.
It feels some TV time.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. If they add Kurt Angle to the Alpha Academy, would that give you any pop into their character?
That would work for me. If you add Kurt, that would work.
I don't like Kurt with Otis. Like if it had been like the original American Alpha or whatever, you know, with Jason and Gable, but I don't really see Kurt and Otis working too good. I mean, Otis is nice, but
because he might look at Otis as a disappointment in terms of his conditioning and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if you look at Otis though, too, I mean, I kind of like him, but I don't like his new. I don't like his new look.
Yeah.
I don't like his new look.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like. I don't like his new look, and to me, I think they messed him up a little bit when they took it away from that storyline with
Mandy Rose
and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have come across my thoughts about this too. Is Mandy Rose is NXT champion, bring her back, and then turn Otis into a freaking bad man and have her manage him.
My only thing, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
My only thing with Mandy Rose, though, will she be a good manager? I don't think she would be a good manager because when you're a manager, you have to have energy. You have to be able to speak on the mic. You have to be able to cut a promo. And every time I see Mandy Rose, she's so monotone.
She's doing better. Okay, I'll give you that. She does need to work on her inflection and pitch and everything. But at NXT, she's doing a good job as like the manager, the mouthpiece of Toxic Attraction. And I kind of think what Ray just said would be good because you could go back to that old, you know, like 80s monster heel with Otis. You know, he just comes out, beats a couple guys up for 2 minutes, just build up his wins.
In that role, though, she would have to leave NXT.
That is true.
And she'll have to lose the title.
Actually, probably not if they decide they wanted to demote Otis and
unless you move Otis to NXT. Now, if you move Otis to NXT, that's different. Yeah.
And then eventually have that whole group move up as one unit.
As one faction.
But I think the one thing about that though is the thing on Toxic Attraction is strictly sex appeal.
Yeah.
You add Otis to the head. Ain't nobody checking. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
It's just it's just a thought, man. It's just a thought that you could do.
But I'll give her props for at least reinventing herself and going over there and winning the chance. I'll give her that. But she still has a lot to work on in terms of mic skills to me and actually be interesting on the mic. But I guess she's got to it because to me, female wrestling is about three things: looks, mic skills, and wrestling. She's improving on the wrestling. She has the looks, and she has to get better on the mic. So right now she's got one of the three. So let's see if she can get the other two.
Well, I mean, if you look at Mandy Rose too, I know Triple H has been helping her on the mic skills. I know they brought John Cena in there a couple of times to help her with the mic skill.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had Dolph Ziggler come down, but them two broke up, so they're trying to keep them two away from each other.
Oh wow, I didn't know they dated. Okay,
yeah, they dated. They dated in real life, and they broke up. She's dating somebody else now, right now.
Wow.
So they were going to have him to come and help her out with the mic skill, but they want to keep them apart right now because they just split it up. So, I mean, two ways you can look at it, but this alpha male thing's got to go. Street Profit needs to go ahead and just start claiming their rights for the tag team title. But then you got this, how about this Queen Zelina and Nikki Nash face-off thing? And then you had Ripley and Carmella did the same.
Just go ahead and get rid of the women's tag titles. That's a waste of time. You could be doing so much more with Rhea.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I agree.
Do you think that Vince McMahon has messed this whole thing up, putting Ripley with Nikki Ash?
I think so.
I think Vince because the whole WWE.
Because she was on such a stalwart trajectory going up, and then all of a sudden you break her down and put her in a tag as a tag team champion, and then she shows her incompetence and lose the belt. I mean, she was better off where she was. Sometimes people, some situations don't need to be fixed, and that was one of them that didn't need to be fixed to me with Rhea, because she was on a good trajectory going up, and you just decide to make her a tag champ? No.
Well, I mean, to me, I think Ripley. I think somehow they're going to interject Ripley with Becky Lynch, and after the Survivor Series and all this stuff is over.
That would be cool.
Because she hasn't faced Becky Lynch in the WWE. She's faced Charlotte Flair for the title. Yep. So it's time to her and Becky Lynch to get it on. That'd be interesting. The way they do it, are they going to will they make her as a good guy, or make Becky come back as a good guy, make Ripley a bad guy? I mean, Ripley's character is more of a dark character.
She's more of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
She's more of an anti-hero. I like her, but she's more of an anti-hero. Does she have to be anything, though? Can you just leave her where she was if she fought against Becky Lynch? Because Becky Lynch is hell and she's still getting massive pop.
Yeah, but everybody still thinks she wants to run that man character. Yeah, to me, the two-back Becky is not working for her. I mean, she had more momentum as the man than there's two.
Becky two belts. Yeah. I'm telling you, boy, Becky two belts.
I mean, to me, so if you look at it that way, so Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor.
I didn't watch all that match. I watched some of it, but not all.
It was a good match. I didn't care for the finish, though. I think I didn't like it being a clean finish. Owens should have had to cheat to win, just to establish, his heel character.
Well, they're in the mix right now. They're in the mix of if they want to bring him heel or if they want to keep him good. They're in that no man's land right now. So they're doing a mix. They're doing him as a heel when they get him in with Big E, and then they turn him like have a clean win here and there in case they want to bring him back and play off.
Well, not even like, I mean, it could have been like a unintentional type thing, like say he pulls off the turnbuckle pad on accident and Finn runs into it and he capitalizes on, just something so Finn doesn't take a clean pin.
Right. It doesn't his contract end this year?
Yep.
He mentioned that
in the next 3 months.
He mentioned that in his promo. If you listen to his promo and stuff, he said he might be here, might not be here. Don't know. But while he's here, he's gonna cause havoc on anybody.
He's another dude that Vince just
he screwed him over.
Screwed him over big time.
So we moved from that good.
I was not really a big fan of Kevin Owens, though. I don't know. I could just never get into him.
I'm gonna tell you what, John Cena really pushed him over, pulled him over real good when he first came up. And that's one thing that Kevin Owens did say about John Cena, and which people don't realize what John Cena has done for the company. John Cena has put a lot of people over. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to. He took it real himself and put people over. I mean, that's
both in and out of the ring.
Yeah. So I mean, he makes people better, even though they say he can't wrestle and stuff like that. But he's added moves here, the last few times, doing off the top rope leg drop, doing some of the, stuff. He's good at taking blows. He's good at working the crowd. I mean, a lot of people can learn a lot of stuff from it, and that's what Kevin Owens said too about John Cena. He teaches him how to work the crowd. Slow play him, then boom, all of a sudden you pop something on him, then you don't know what's going on. So we leave that great match there, and we go to the Dirty Dogs versus AJ Styles. and Omos. This is just a one-sided Omos and AJ Styles tagged in to take the win. So, do you like this? Do you like this gimmick with Omos and AJ?
I can't stand it
as a team.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it because it takes so much away from AJ. AJ don't need it. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He don't need it. AJ should at least be. He should at least be in the championship picture. There's no reason for him, and I mean singles championship. I'm not talking about a tag champion. I'm talking about singles title, world title. He should be in world title contention regardless. I don't like this. It's just like you just giving AJ busy work. I don't like it. He should be in that heavyweight championship realm. He should be the one going after a Big E. I don't like it.
Now, my question to you, almost, he's like an unstoppable, movable force. Would you like to see him come back as like a dark character, like the Undertaker did?
He said a dark character.
Yeah, come back. You know, I ain't talking about the skin color now. I'm talking about the. See, y'all got that.
Yeah,
that was Will. That was
me.
I'm talking about him coming back as a demon type character, like, you know, making him be unstoppable. I mean, he's like an unstoppable force right now. Who's going to take him off his feet? Unless you bring John Cena back and ain't nobody in this current WWE going to be able to take him off the feet.
Does he have the charisma for that?
He's a stiff guy.
With like a dark character, though, you got to have like a good personality to pull it off.
Yep.
Like nobody else could be the Undertaker but Mark Calloway.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Like,
I ain't trying to be like the Undertaker. I'm talking about being like an unstoppable force, like a giant, like Big John Studd was.
He could be.
He could be like a dark character.
He could be like a man. I don't think I'll say him looking because he's so stiff in the ring. That's my only issue with him.
Well, John Studd was stiff.
That's true. That's true.
Andre the Giant was stiff.
That's true. You don't get no stiffer than Andre.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, then, yeah. With that, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just he missing something. He don't talk.
He can't talk.
There's no charisma.
There's no charisma there. There's nothing.
But look at Brock Lesnar. He don't talk either. He ain't got no charisma in talking.
Yeah.
But he had Heyman.
He got Heyman, and he's Brock. You know, Brock had a reputation coming in. Both times. He came in the first time, had a rep, and then he came back with a rep. Almost ain't got no rep like that.
But I mean, if you look at somebody to be the next unstoppable, movable force, I mean, he's got the character to be because nobody's really done anything against him.
I mean, I guess it could be him. I mean, put him in.
Still, though, like, what else is it besides he's big?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Personally, to me, I thought Omos would be cut by now.
Me too. I mean, hey, Bobby Lashley big. Just go with him. but the thing was Omos this tall. I get it. He's what? A big 7-footer, something like that.
He's probably like 7'4".
Yeah, about 7-footer. I get it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, because look at the
Giant.
We were Giant Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Mm-hmm.
And he was ass.
He was.
He was like that. It was like that in WCW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he brought him over and put him in some stupid looking outfit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They had his little triceps.
And then and you saw his little fake abs being cut into the outfit. I don't know though. He could be, but how do you get around having him as a champion? How do you sell that? You can't.
That's the problem.
He would just be that, and that's it.
Like look at when they put the belt on Great Khali, how terrible that was.
Ooh, that was terrible. Ooh.
Oh, that was
trash.
Asinine right there.
That was trash. That was trash and money talking at the same time.
That's like the Zeus and Hulk Hogan match.
Ooh. Why you had to remind me of that? Oh.
I mean, he's dead. I mean, Zeus is dead now. I mean,
rest in peace, man.
He did do good in was that Friday?
Friday.
Yeah,
Debo.
yeah, Friday. Yeah, Debo. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also did a show. I don't know if you guys watch Wild Now. He also did an episode of Wild Now. He did pretty good too. He hardly spoke, but he did pretty good.
All right, so we're moving along from that horrendous of a match. I mean, to me, I'm surprised Dolph Ziggler's still around. I'm surprised Rhodes is still around. You know, all these cuts. I thought they'd be cut by now.
Be gone by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bobby Lashley versus Rey Mysterio.
Bro.
Taking the Mysterio out of the Survivor Series, then this could be his last Survivor Series.
I think because last week you took Dominic out
because
you wanted all champions. Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense. Now you take Ray out to put Austin Theory.
Basically, Austin Theory is not a champion.
Exactly.
Basically a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically a rookie. I didn't like it.
And the only thing I've seen him do is come out with a freaking phone, take a picture, and then sneak attack somebody.
I mean, you got Rey Mysterio, a certified legend.
Hall of Famer.
Not in WWE, just in pro wrestling in general.
Hall of Famer.
Like, yeah. You replace him with Austin Theory? Like,
damn, I didn't like it at all.
Dumb.
I didn't like it at all. Something's going down, guys. Something going down.
Well, you've seen tensions between the two, between Ray and Dominique too. So I mean,
something's going down.
Yeah, eventually it's going to come ahead, and I'd say it's going to come ahead. It could either come ahead just before WrestleMania too.
Father versus son.
Like, I really thought it was going to be something come up at Survivor Series, like Dominic was ended up costing Ray, his match or something.
Right.
But I mean, to me, I don't know what his Adam Pearce character is. Do y'all like his character?
What you just said, I don't know what it is. Like,
is he like supposed to be the commissioner? Is he supposed to be the heel? Somebody? I mean, you got two heels as a commissioner. You got Sonya Deville on SmackDown as a heel. Now you got this one as a Raw as a heel.
I love Sonya, but I don't like Adam. I love Sonya because you can go somewhere with Sonya. You can do something with Sonya, but I just ain't feeling Adam, man. He's just like a.
He's a former NWA World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but he's talking about his knees and stuff like that.
Right, like he old. Like he old.
Yeah,
like he's some old vet. Man, come on.
All right, let's switch back. We're going to come back to WWE in a minute. Let's switch it real quick here. I want to get a couple segments in. Heyman Dallas, whatever his name is, Heyman Page or whatever for AEW, becoming world champion. Is that what just a place champion till Omega gets out of the surgery? He's going to surgery.
Paper champion.
How do y'all see that?
Yeah. Yes and no. Because this was coming. Like, we all know Paige was going to take the belt off Omega. I just don't think that it should have happened now. Like, Omega should have dropped the belt, but to Bryan Danielson.
You almost said it too.
That's what JR did.
Yep.
But it's just because they couldn't get the match that they wanted. Because we all know Hangman was supposed to be the one to kick out a one-winged angel.
Mm-hmm.
So with Omega having a shoulder issue, he couldn't even put him in it. And like the build was kind of lackluster. Like, I know Hangman had that great promo, but it just wasn't the right time. Bryan Danielson would have been a better champion to me.
Yeah, and then let's talk about they gave her some updates with John Moxley and then the rehab and stuff like that, trying to get his life back together. You got to commit to him, doing that and trying to get it all straightened out before his kid comes and stuff like that. So, well,
you have to understand too with Mox. You have to understand how long has this man been on the road? This man has been on the road forever, and you got a kid on the way. You working 24/7. You have to commend him for doing what he's doing, for going to get help. Because one thing that we do as guys, we don't really acknowledge the fact that of our mental health. So at least he did that. I give him props for that. But for the most part, I hope he comes back soon. Because when he does come back and he comes back clean, he comes back healthy. He can go back to running AEW games because for a while it was him for the most part. So hope he comes back.
You look on Dynamite, Bryan Danielson versus his Rocky Romero. Is this? I mean, they're using Daniel Bryan in a little bit different way. Do you think they're ever going to have him up in the World Championship picture where Kenny Omega? Because I mean, these two, Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan, Danielson, yeah. I mean, they won Indy together, and they never crossed really any cross paths that do it work together. This is something that these two always talked about in interviews and stuff, working against each other. Do we see this happening soon?
They had their match on Dynamite. Remember, it went to a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that didn't do nothing for me.
Really?
I wanted to see
you want a match that means something. I got you.
Yeah, I want a match that declares a winner. A draw doesn't mean one iota.
Listen, you feel the way about the draw about the way I feel about a DQ.
I mean, what is a draw going to do for you? Okay, I went to time limit with him. Whoopie doo.
I like the way they did that draw just simply because, like, in the match itself, there was never a clear winner. Normally when they do a draw, it's always 1, 2, and then the bell rings before 3. Like, that's dumb. They were still fighting each other. Like, I like that. So it makes me want to see the rematch more.
I'm going to tell you, the only one I really liked about a draw was Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard. They were beating the hell out of each other. Beating the hell out of each other, and the bell rings out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But you were into the match. You didn't worry about the time limit. You didn't worry about that announcer coming over saying, "Oh, you have 30 seconds and count." Yeah. You were into that match the whole time.
And the wrestlers were
you wanted into it. I wanted into that match.
And the wrestlers were into that match too because they just kept going. And I love that. I love that.
I mean, they got, it was a draw, but they were still battling all the way back to the locker room.
Yep. Kept going. Yep, they kept going. That shows you how they work then versus now.
I mean, to me, if you're going to draw something, you need a draw like that kind of a draw. Have them still beating out of each other, going up and down the ring or going out of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you advertise that match and you advertise it so quickly and so quietly and stuff like that. So, but I mean, then you're going to go take it to a draw.
Yeah.
I mean, with that, and then Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. What do you think about her as a champion? You think she's running good as a champion right now?
I enjoy her work. She improves in the ring every time. Like, every time you see her, she gets better in the ring. Her mic quality is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's better on the mic to me than Adam Cole probably, which is saying a lot. But I enjoy her run as a champion. I really don't see, with them having that second title coming, I don't see who can take the belt off of her.
Oh, she's got competition. And I think that she's one of the few people who don't need a belt to be put over.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I don't think she really needs a title to be put over because she's so over. If she loses a Thunder Rosa, for example, just using that for an example, it wouldn't hurt. She would still be so over. But with that, like you said, with that second belt coming, I don't think she's gonna drop it no time soon.
But I mean, you talk about Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa would be the one that could take it away from her.
Yeah, she would credibility.
Yeah. That got credibility. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, she's been champion everywhere she went. She held NWA championship for the longest time.
Yep. So she would be the one. Thunder Rosa would be the one.
I mean,
what to do it'd be her.
I mean, Rebel, she's got a little bit.
Rebel would be my dark. Yeah, she could, but Rebel would be my dark horse to take it. She would be my dark horse to take.
How about Jamie Hatter?
Not yet.
Nah, not yet.
I mean, because I tell you what, if it takes Rebel to do it, turning on her, that would be the smoothest move because nobody will see that coming.
Nobody see it coming. Yep, wouldn't nobody see that coming.
That is a good idea. I like that.
But I like Britt Baker though. She is awesome. She is awesome, and it's like, man, her gimmick. Like I say, even if she dropped the belt, she'll still be so over. Would he be funny?
Then the Hardy family office attacks best friends. I think it's time. Once Jeff Hardy's contract runs out and goes back to WWE or to AEW, and the Hardy Boys comes back, we'll probably see it for about maybe a year run with them. Then they're gonna both retire because they always said they're gonna retire together.
Be one last run.
But they want one last run as the Hardy Boys.
What they need to do is put them against the Young Bucks, and whoever loses retire.
But you want the Young Bucks to lose.
Exactly.
It really does.
And it would be no shame to lose to the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, it wouldn't be no. I mean, if you look at it too, I mean, both teams are from North Carolina.
Yep.
You know, but give you a little story between the Young Bucks and the Hardys. They started back in backyard wrestling with them too.
Okay.
Those two, I can remember going to a match in Camden, North Carolina. With them, the Young Bucks called themselves the Raleigh Boys because they're from Raleigh. They were outside of Raleigh. And then you had the Camden Boys. And then their cousin was their manager at the time doing this thing. They had I'm going to tell you, I don't like the Young Bucks, but they had a battle for ages in the backyard. And I'm talking about people jumping off rooftops.
What?
Yeah. Dang. Talking about jumping off rooftops, talking about real chair hitting. Real cage hitting.
Oh man!
You talking about a spool out? I mean, both guys had to go. All 4 teams had to go to the hospital together. So he explained that when you had to go to the hospital and tell them, "Hey, I gotta get stitched up because this guy hit me with a chair." And then you had the cops come and said, "What are y'all doing?" And bless Matt Hardy's heart, his dad went to the courthouse and got the match sanctioned at the courthouse.
I didn't think that could be possible.
He went to the courthouse and got a match sanctioned. Said, "Hey, I didn't want them to go to jail because they're gonna have a lot of weapons, blah blah blah, and we're taking full responsibility and stuff like that." He went and got that match sanctioned. So when the hospital called the cops, so the hospital calls the cops. Well, he got it sanctioned through the courthouse through the North Carolina Boxing Association match. Type
I didn't think you could do that for a backyard fight.
Yeah. They did a lot of things back in the day, back in North Carolina, man.
Dang, I didn't think you could do that.
I mean, you got North Carolina, one of the wrestling capitals of the world. North
Carolina.
I mean, you had the Jim Crockett promotion. You had the ones in Rocky Mount wrestling.
Well, you know the hardest out there, fan, Omega.
You had Ric Flair came from Minnesota, made his hometown out of Charlotte. Magnum PA's living in Charlotte right now. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's in Charlotte. Yeah, he's got his own dojo in downtown Charlotte.
Wow, I didn't know that either. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Ricky the Man though. One of the
never turned heel.
Never turned heel. One of the few that did not turn heel.
And then let's talk about that a little bit here. You know, Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard switched wives, right? Huh? They got divorced. They got divorced from each other, and then they started dating after divorce come finalized. So they just switched family. And they're all friends. They're still friends and everything, but they just switched wives.
Too much.
That's true. TMI.
All right, let's get down to here real quick. We got 7 minutes, less than 7 minutes to go here. Who do you think is going to win between? First of all, is this going to be a clean win by Roman Reigns, or will this be like a disqualification win for Woods in the Survivor match?
For Woods or Big E?
I'm sorry, for Big E.
Actually, I think what you just said is gonna play a role. Woods is gonna do something.
I can see that.
He has to play a role into it.
I can see Woods interfering.
That Big E loses by disqualification. That way, nobody takes a loss.
It's gonna be something to where one of them loses, but they still look strong.
Yeah, Roman can't lose.
Yeah, Roman can't. He can't.
Roman hasn't lost since he's came back.
No, he lost
to King Woods on Smackdown.
He just lost to disqualification. Took that 698 straight match win away because he got disqualified.
Yeah, against King Woods. Yep.
Yeah. So I have 2 scenarios for that. I have Brock Lesnar supposed to come back soon. Will Brock Lesnar interfere in this match?
I can see that too. I like that one because then it makes Paul question. it makes Paul question too. Should I stick by Roman or should I switch sides over to Brock and have Brock become that monster and take the belt off Roman? So I kind of like it that way too.
And there's been rumors around the circulation of this too that Beth Phoenix wants to play Brock Lesnar's sister.
I saw that. It can work now. Like, no.
You could do it because she got the physique to do it, but
not now though. I mean,
why?
I'm talking. She's not talking
why?
She's not talking about jumping into the ring. She's talking about being his mouthpiece.
Right. So let's say, for example, if Brock doesn't come down, Roman wins clean, Beth can come down and take Paul Heyman's place, basically.
Or she could come down and hit Brock Lesnar between the crotch, hit Paul Heyman between the crotch.
That's true.
And then have Roman Reigns look at it and see what's going on. And then out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar appears and hits him with the F5 and then puts Big Eve over top of him.
Yep, that's true. Since ain't no title on the line,
it's
just bragging rights.
It's just bragging rights.
Right. Ain't no title on the line, just bragging rights. So, yeah. It brings to
with Edge being on Raw too, though. I think that's gonna play a role in anything Beth does.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about Edge.
How about the men's elimination match, Raw versus Team SmackDown? Which one is going to take the win?
Depends what we get for SmackDown. Because aren't we missing a person for SmackDown, or is it Raw? Yeah, missing SmackDown.
SmackDown has Manfield.
Yeah.
Well, Team Raw is Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio. Well, they can take out Rey Mysterio now.
But that what you call it, dude?
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory.
The dumbest man ever.
And Bobby Lashley.
So
Austin Theory's going to come in with his cell phone, take a picture, and then pin somebody,
or get eliminated because he's doing it.
I still think they might change that out, though. I still think that might change. Anybody looking for Austin Theory? He ain't selling no tickets.
Well, Summer Survivor Series is this weekend.
Yeah.
So how they going to kick him out now?
It ain't too late. They get something can happen backstage.
Oh yeah, I can see it now. He took a picture and slipped on a banana peel.
Exactly. Due to him slipping on a banana peel, I have to do what's best for the Raw team.
Well, if you look at Team SmackDown, they got Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, King Woods, and a mystery partner.
You know what? It don't matter
who's the mystery partner.
It don't matter who partner. Just because you got Happy Corbin on that team, SmackDown gonna lose.
I mean, who's gonna be the mystery partner?
I don't know if they'll announce it this week, but I think what it could be is a call up from NXT because he was there last week. Von Wagner.
That's true. It could be a call up from NXT.
That's true. The thing on Survivor Series, if you look back in the history of Survivor Series, they have iconic debuts. Like superstars, who debut at Survivor Series: Kurt Angle, The Rock, Undertaker, The Shield. So you got that mystery spot. This is where you can bring somebody up from NXT. I'm thinking Von Wagner. I don't see Braun Breaker coming just yet, but he could be one too.
But it could be the guy you mentioned, Edge.
He just went to Raw though.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. Dang it. They still put him in instead of Austin Theory. Just saying.
He's former champion.
Yep.
Well, some reports saying Team Raw is going to win, so I don't know. That's going to be up in the air too.
That's nasty.
They said the wild card
is way better team. Drew, Jeff Hardy.
They said that the wild card would be King Woods if WWE really wants to book him against Roman Reigns in a future brawl.
I just ain't feeling Happy Corbin. So. Ain't feeling terrible. My God.
The women's elimination tag match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. The Team Raw is Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Queen Zelina, Carmella, and Liv Morgan. Team SmackDown is Sasha Banks, Shorties, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and a mystery partner.
SmackDown.
Who's the mystery partner?
Naomi?
That would make sense. Because you just got rid of Aaliyah. So if you get rid of Aaliyah, do you gotta put Naomi in that spot?
That's gonna be a good question, though.
And that would make me go with SmackDown even more.
That could be what you. I can see that happening and stuff like that. And then how about Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair? How's that day? And that's one statement I want to talk about here. Me and William talked about it earlier in the chat. Is the friction between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, is that stage or is that for real?
Oh, it's real.
You sure?
I think it's real. Like,
sure?
Just the interviews Becky's been doing.
But that could
work. It could be work.
I think it's work. I think it's work.
And I don't know. It's just like with everything you've heard about Charlotte and like people being fed up with her, you know.
But the only thing that kills
she's probably on her way out too.
But the only thing that kills it is they were friends. They're friends, and I just think
I'm gonna tell you a reason why I said that. There's another thing going around on talking about the four horsemen, talking about the four horsewomen with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and all that, and Bailey. They all came out and said they were still friends.
That's why I think.
That's why I put a doubt in my mind with that having that friction in the backstage area. Because it happened at Raw, it happened at SmackDown when they switched the titles and stuff. Vince McMahon could have had that thing pre-staged because Vince McMahon was there. They had it pre-staged with policemen and all that on call. Because Vince has done this before.
Yep, he has.
With Stephanie McMahon and the Bella twins.
But like the one thing though is Vince McMahon, how he feels about his titles. He's not gonna let you just throw it like that.
But he might not have, but maybe Becky decided to do it for that dramatic effect.
Well, that part is real. That part wasn't Vince McMahon told him no, don't do that. That part was. But the backstage incident afterwards, when they had to call the cops and stuff like that, after the show went off the air, that was staged. That's what I was talking about. That portion of that was staged.
I think so too.
Because they wanted to have a dramatic effect when they go up in Survivor Series. They want to have people to come in and watch. Because right now, if you look at the shows that have been going on, leading up to this, who's going to watch Survivor Series? Who's going to pay all that money to watch Survivor Series? I'm trying to find a way to watch it for free right now.
If I didn't have to cover it to talk, if we didn't have to watch it to talk about it on here, I probably wouldn't be watching it.
Peacock ain't got no free trial right now, so that's going to be about your best bet. What, $9 for Peacock?
All right. Yeah, I got Peacock.
But you can't fast forward it on.
Yeah, you can't fast forward it. You just gotta watch the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, if I got it on Peacock, I'm paying $9. I'm not paying the freaking $100 for a pay-per-view.
No, sir.
Not for this.
Particularly not that one. No, sir.
I mean, AEW pay-per-view is like $25.
Yep.
And they only run 4 a year? What, 4 or 5 or something like that a year?
Yeah, Vince is going back to that old work too. He's gonna drop a couple pay-per-views for next year off.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at it, then my question is when they bringing Bailey back. That's going to be the question.
My question is when they going to make this four horsewomen an actual thing.
Until they can get Ronda Rousey back.
You think they're waiting that long? That makes sense though.
But her people are gone though. Or is it one of them or just
all of them are gone?
Okay.
But you know what makes it interesting for that? Is have them come in like a DX type deal, come in and just bust right in there.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, you fire me for no reason. I'm gonna bust right in there.
Right.
Because I mean, wherever Ronda goes, they're allowed to go with her because according to her contract is those women are part of her entourage on her all her contract deals.
Mm-hmm.
So if they bring her back, they might not have to sign these people, but Ronda can pay them, and they under Ronda's contract.
Right.
Right. Even though WWE can't say anything about it because she has it under her permanent contract with her agent. It's a permanent contract saying any shows that I go to, they're allowed to come with me.
That's interesting.
Because I think they're all friends and they all grew up together. That's why.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
And what better way? Because they already teased it.
Right.
They teased it a while back.
A while back.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen then.
Isn't Ronda pregnant though?
Yeah, that's why they got to wait.
She had the baby.
Wait. Yeah, she already had it.
She
still got to wait. You still got to wait 6 to 9 months for her to get healed up. So
that'd be interesting to see. That'd be really interesting to see.
And then she's got to get back into shape.
Yep. Use that baby weight.
Because she didn't do like Brie and Nikki. Automatic go back to her skinny self. She has to work for it. So what do you think this is? You think Survivor Series is going to be worth watching? Because what you see from Raw, what you see from SmackDown now coming up on Friday, and then that's the take-home show before Survivor Series. So you got to have the mystery part announced by then, unless they're going to keep it all the way up mystery all the way up to show
Survivor Series.
Yeah, until they bring it up.
Right.
So
this is just a way far-fetched idea. Like I literally just thought about this. It's not going to be it, but I just got to say it. 25 years, his show, The Rock's the mystery guy.
Who?
He said The Rock.
The Rock.
No.
I know, I'm just saying.
The Rock's already said that only way he'll come back, and this is the thing that he said this is the thing he said too, and he stated to Vince McMahon, he says the only way he comes back is if he beats Roman Reigns and carries the title for one more time.
Well,
they need to make that. They need to make that happen.
Make it happen. Have him win the title away from him, become the head of the table. Rock takes the head of the table gimmick, throws it in the trash can, lights it on fire, and then make Roman Reigns come back as a good person. Because Roman wants to come back as a good person because he's got his daughter, he's got the leukemia situation.
He wants to come back as a face.
Yeah, and his daughter, has already asked him, "Hey, why are you being so mean?" And you're the most nicest person away from the thing. I mean, I met Roman Reigns a couple of times, at the Jaguars on spring training. I met him. The dude is cool.
He seems like a real down to earth person.
Yeah, he's like.
But if you really want to know about wrestling, all the heels are the nicest people.
I believe that.
Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the most personable kind of guy you go up to. He'll talk to you.
The time I met Arn Anderson, he was so chill. So, man, he was so chill.
Yeah, his little gun thing now, gimmick type deal. Shooting Cody Rhodes down with it, saying, I can't be with a weak person,
I love that.
I think that's just true Arn Anderson right there.
Oh yeah, I love Arn Anderson.
So right now between AEW and WWE, who is winning this between the two organizations?
AEW,
because they wrestle. Like they're actually having wrestling. Right. Like the pay-per-view was Saturday. It was so refreshing just to have like matches back to back to back. No stupid, soap opera mess in between each match. Just one match ends, they go to the announcers for a quick recap. Boom, another match.
AEW is more about wrestling. WWE is more about the show.
Yeah.
It's more about the show. And that's something that eventually they might have to get away from because the business model over in AEW is working. It's actually working. They're picking up people here and there. They're not picking up everybody, but they're picking up people here and there who will impact the business, will impact the roster. They're good for that. The wrestling's good over there. Tony Khan's it's not afraid to spend money to make the show better. To make the product better, and that's a good thing. So yeah, he's also letting wrestlers be more in control of things, which is always good. Yes. So it's more based on wrestling over there, whereas WWE is more about promos, promoting a show. And I think at some point we have to get rid of that because WWE, it might get. They put up with it. Fans of WWE put up with it now, but at some point it might get old and stale, and they might want to move to AEW's model. So right now AEW is kicking ass.
Yeah, I look at we'll leave this on one more point here, and then we get ready to go. So I can let you go because it's after 11 o'clock here on the East Coast time.
Oh yeah.
So you're down in Texas, right? So it's only 10 o'clock your time, right, Chris?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're down in that Lone Star State with the Lone Star
Home
State.
of WrestleMania, though. WrestleMania.
Facts.
Now the question is, did Jerry Jones help Vince McMahon when he gave Vince McMahon the nod of saying that he's one of the best promoters in wrestling history? Did that hurt? Or did that hurt the WWE?
None of the above.
Yeah, that's the
like
answer.
In all honesty, it didn't make it better or worse. It didn't change anybody's opinion on it. Like, it's obvious Vince is the best promoter ever.
C, no change. Yeah, C, no. It'd be A, B, and then C, no change.
Yeah.
Right. So we get ready. So I want to know who's y'all's best tag team ever.
All time.
All time. What's your best all time?
Oh, golly.
I'm putting y'all on the spot right now.
Oh,
right. And it was so random. Like, we did not rehearse this, y'all. There's so many on the list.
That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. Oh my gosh. You can go so many different ways with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I know y'all may disagree with me, and it's on my age a little bit, I guess, because the era I grew up in. I'm going Edge and Christian.
You don't wrong with that.
Yeah, no wrong with that.
You don't wrong with that. Mine is Harlem Heat, and the reason why I say Harlem
that was my
Heat,
number 2.
And the reason why I say Harlem Heat is because if you go back and look at it, they got over in 3 different, maybe not WWE as a tag team, but Brooker did, but they got over GFW, World Class, WCW, and then Booker got over in WWE. Then he got over in Impact, and then back at WWE. He got over in 5 different companies. Harlem Heat got over in 3. That's not something that you see nowadays. So I got to give Harlem Heat, and then right after them, I got to give it to the Midnight Express. But it's Sweet Stan Lane and Beautiful Body. Go back and look at them.
So everybody thinks I got LOD because I like the Road Warriors and stuff like that. But
yeah, 100%. I would have bet everything I have on that.
How about the Rock and Roll Express? Ricky and Robert. I'm gonna tell you why. They got it over with the Russians, Ivan, Khrushchev, and Nikita Koloff.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And they go back and look at what they did with the Fantastics. If you go back and listen to what they did, the Midnight Express, yeah, I can see it.
And they're still going.
Yeah, they're still wrestling.
Yeah, they're still going. Yeah,
they're still going.
But I mean, if you look at it, they hold championships in just about every place they've been. Just about every place. I don't think they held it in WWE.
No,
I know they went to WWE. I don't think they held it, but
they was there for a couple. They weren't there long enough, though.
No,
they had their name somewhere else, so Vince wasn't gonna.
But I'll tell you what, those when they made their debut against Nikita, Khrushchev, and the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and I'm gonna tell you a story about Ivan Koloff in a minute. When I talk about Ivan Koloff, he lived in my aunt's hometown in Oxford, North Carolina, and I met him. My aunt went and actually took me to his house because she found out where he lived at.
Wow!
Looking there, I asked him one question. I said, "What team that gave y'all the hardest time?" He said, "When the Rock and Roll Express came to wrestle us, we all had to keep it a secret." Because people were trying to figure out who this team was. They snuck Ricky and Robert into the building through a hearse in a coffin. That's exactly what he said. In a coffin. No wrestler knew who it was. They didn't come out of the coffin until the time of that match.
Wow.
And they didn't even know who it was.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. They didn't even know who it was.
Wow. That's crazy.
But they were a great team.
And then when they came in, all of a sudden he said the chemistry just hit. When they got in there and they started wrestling, that first blow they did, the chemistry just hit and it lighted. And if you ask any of them, they said that match right there was one of the best feuds they ever had.
Yeah, you gotta give it to the Rock and Roll. they've done a lot. They've seen a lot. They've been up against just about any tag team you can think of.
Yeah.
You could go many ways. You can go LOD, you can go Dudley Boys, you could go with Tully and Arn Anderson, or Ole and Arn. You could go with the British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
You could have gone with the Midnight Express. You could have gone with the Skyscrapers and me, Mark Callis, and Stan Spivey. You could have gone that way.
Oh no, I can't go that way. Oh no.
Hey, dude, that team was kind of awesome too.
They're right.
And then Sid Vicious.
Yeah, that was Sid Vicious. That's true. That's true.
But nobody remembers Sting and
I remember Sting and Warrior
Blade Runners.
Yep. Yeah, and the Undertaker, Sting and me, Mark Callis, roaming together. They were tag team champions in the Ohio Valley Wrestling.
But yeah, man, Harlem Heat is just because if you go back and look at Heat, they changed the game because they came in at a time where tag team wrestling was sort of kind of on a downward slope, and they came in, revitalized that thing. They did everything they could to knock those boys off the perch. They brought in teams back from the 80s and try to beat them, and they still couldn't do it. I had Steve Ray on my show one time, and he said it took for us to lose those titles and really kind of lose our mystique a little bit. It took them bringing back the Steiner brothers for that to happen. So I always gotta give it the Heat. They got over in so many places. That was just amazing to me.
What feud didn't happen would you like to see? What feud?
Is it like that could have happened or just like a dream?
Like a dream match feud for you.
Okay. AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels.
Ooh, I was about to go rock Shawn Michaels.
That was the one I was gonna say if it was like that could have happened.
Right.
I'm doing that. Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I was about to go rock Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Or Eddie Shawn Michaels.
Ooh, that would have been good too. That would be good too.
Yours win.
Man, if I could have got it, and I'm gonna go back to the day a little bit. And it's gonna date me. Tony Atlas versus Bobby Lashley.
You ready for mine?
Powerhouses.
Yeah, that would have been a slobber knocker.
I'm gonna show you my age. Magnum TA and Ric Flair.
Oh, Magnum was the man before the accident, though. He was the man.
Magnum was on the destiny to go to win the world title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He was the man. Mm-hmm.
And and the reason I brought that up because it really hit me on one of the Ric Flairs talking about Dusty Rhodes, talking about Magnum TA, and when Ric Flair saw Magnum TA laid up in the hospital, he said, Ric Flair put it straight out. He said, he took my chance to go against Magnum TA away with that car accident. And he told Magnum straight out, he said, I was ready to put you over. You win the title. I was ready to do that for you because he worked his way up through the organization. I mean, he was behind Dusty Rhodes. He won that match with Tully Blanchard, the I Quit match. That was the most bloodiest feud that you have seen.
Yeah. But for back then.
I mean, they had everything. They had it hitting the cage, putting the mic into your skull. I mean, they had it all.
Yeah, so particularly for back then.
Yeah, to me, I think Magnum TA and Ric Flair were part of I had definitely a headliner back in the day.
A lot of blood would have been shed, though.
Oh, most definitely. Oof.
Hey, you weren't around, Chris, when you had to go to the arena the day of the wrestling event to get wrestling tickets. Were you?
No,
he wouldn't.
Nah.
Let me tell you this. The Horsemen was coming to Dorton Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. You had to go get tickets. My dad made sure I got tickets, so he took me up there like 7. He took me up there like 4:30 in the morning to get tickets. My dad literally took a chair out of his truck to sit in. Some dude come up and try to push me out of the way to get the tickets, the front row tickets. My dad got out of his chair, because he's sitting way back. He got out of his chair, went over and hit the dude with a chair. And the cops come up and they're going to try to arrest him. He said, "You know who I am?" They all looked at each other. Oh, yeah. And then they backed off because my dad knew everybody, knew every cop, every fireman. And nobody messed with him in my hometown. When they pulled me over and they run my license and they found out that's my dad, they gave me my license back and said, "Carry on," because they knew it was going to happen. My dad got a hold of it. But, yeah, back in the day, man, back in the day, you had to beat up people to try to get your tickets. And you had to get that way before the event started.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
To get tickets. Because they had no ticket master. They only had the box office. The box office was located at the event.
And you took a chance if you waited too, boy. You had to be there right on time, right when the thing opened.
Yeah.
Yep. Because the tickets run out in about like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I even see people get to be in the line, and then next thing you know, we ran out of tickets, and they still got like 1,000 more people behind them.
Trying to get in. The glory days.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, this has been a great show, guys. Great reminiscing some wrestling, talking about some wrestling business, talking about the pitiful Raw, pitiful Smackdown last week. I hope Smackdown this week would be pretty good. I hope Survivor Series would be worth it. The freeness of my time. I'm not gonna pay this thing. $9 for the Peacock. You help you out. Stuff like that. So, this has been Ray, William, and Chris. This is the All Sports All Play Wrestling Hour on the All Sports All Place Network. Good night. Peace out.
Free dewdrop.
Pleasure.
Free dewdrop.
Free dewdrop. Free dewdrop. Free Zedler.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.